We get it, we get it.
Four is all it takes.
Yeah.
Look at that, Harry.
Oh.
So. We'll check the agenda, call to order at 10:03. Comments from the public. Do we have anybody out there that wants to say anything? Do we even have anybody out there? Okay. All right.
Comments though.
Okay, no comments, then we'll move to the consent agenda, approve the minutes of the March 18, 2025 regular meetings.
Move.
I say.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion passes. Next item is receive the harbor master's inspection and maintenance report. Jimbo, that yours? Any comments for that one?
I don't have.
Do you have any comments from the commission on Jimbo's report? If not, we're gonna move to item number 3. Receive the financial reports and Port Revenue Fund. Brittany,
Morning.
good morning. Thanks for being here.
So with the tariffs, everything is up to date.
Okay. Any comments on the tariffs?
I have no comments. Everything is up to date. As you can see though, there is some decrease from last year on both ends.
Does anybody know why
Not really sure why.
the Helena tariffs are down that much?
I'm not really sure about that one.
I haven't talked to,
Yeah.
oh wait, I know, you say you talked to, Paul Goldmore, right?
Yeah,
And, go ahead.
no, he just told me that most of their trucks are going into.
Going where?
Victoria.
And I did put a phone call in. Jeff Holly, what, a week or so ago, but I never heard back from him. I was gonna visit with him on some of that. The terminal there, but he never called me back. I don't know if he's on vacation or what. He's with us.
Is it, did we get funding to do the culvert?
It's been approved, we still don't have the contract from GLO. I think, I checked on that, they said, yeah, to check. And that was late last week, they said check in about 10 to 15 days, we should have it. So as soon as we have it and sign the contract, then we can, we'll engage engineering to get started.
Okay,
Again, the council's not gonna put any money in. So that means, if we're gonna be short of money, I guess, right, Jody?
Why would we be?
Huh?
Why? We got,
So we've had a little inflation since then and all that, so that's all.
I mean, we got a total of $9.1 million.
Oh, you have that to draw on?
Yeah, I mean, we allocated, like $1 million, I think, for
700.
this project, but that's not to say it's gonna be ahead of the others that if we need it, and get some money.
Okay, don't worry about it.
That's good.
yeah, that's good news. I was thinking in my mind, we had a shortfall and we're gonna have all the money, but that's good.
No, if I remember right, I mean, I don't know, Matt, if you remember, but I was thinking. No, well, Matt, on that one, I don't think you were wrong with that one, that was, Mott McDonald, but, I know we put in. One of the bids were like 600,000 or 700,000, I wanna say that we put in like $1 million or so. Out of that 9 million, but like I said, I don't think it's that regimented that if we need to move some money around, it's just a budget amendment.
Okay, all right, well, that's good news. All right, we'll move on to the account aging report.
And then all balances are zero except for Robert Simmons.
I think he came in the other
He
day.
came in? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Did he,
He's wanting to get rid of, he was wanting to either sell the boat, buy today. That's why he only paid for half the month. That's why it shows a balance of 133. So he just paid for half the month.
they're fixing to leave. He's here. I talked to him. I think it was yesterday. I talked to him and he's fixing to, he's going back, he's from New York. He's going back to New York and then he'll be back in a week or two after, Easter. And he's gonna take the boat back to New York. What he told me yesterday.
Okay. Was he planning on giving us the other half?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Is he a good guy?
He's not that kind of guy.
Okay. All right, well, that sounds good.
And Leah Wiley did pay yesterday.
Oh, he did.
Paid.
I mean, we really had,
Paid on her.
yeah, we really had to stay on her.
Really?
Because she's been a problem.
Oh, man.
She still is not signed up for the automatic
Automatic draft.
exchange or whatever, yeah, so.
I wonder if we ought, one of these days ought to consider making that mandatory.
Well,
It is mandatory.
So, I mean,
Stop treating it like it's mandatory.
we have, how many people do we have? Is there two?
I think there's only two that aren't on automatic draft, but it is mandatory according to the.
and we've given one exception only, and
Yes.
that was to one, and I don't remember what his name is, but he's never been late. He always pays.
I wanna
So that's.
know.
Right, Mr.
Yeah, and I told, we had told him that he's late once.
But he's never been late.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And we'll keep fighting the battle on the folks that don't come through. All right, and the next one is what?
The payment report.
Payment report.
Nothing new note. I think that most of the expenses are from, rebuilding the oil storage and then leveling that dirt. And then I will say that with Frontier, we have 3 months worth of charges. Was a little hiccup, I guess, with the mail and getting the statement to us. So we had to make 3 payments in one. But other than that, we're all caught up on that.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say, we talked about it last time, this contracted services compensation plan. Is that really gonna be $9,000 this year? $750 a month?
That is just a percentage and we are pretty much finished with those expenses.
So it's not gonna continue on a monthly basis?
No. The Port Commission, I believe, we only budgeted for that for Port Commission, I believe is about 1290, I believe, split, so that's protected.
Okay,
Yes, it's not gonna be returned.
all right. We ready to move to the revenue and expense?
So with revenue and expense, if you can see, the revenues are actually 59% if you don't include the grant revenue that we're budgeting. We're doing really good.
Okay, that sounds good. Any comments on that one? The balance sheet, property tax distribution.
Balances are still being consistent. I could transfer over more to invest if that is what you guys would like to see. I would still like to keep about 200,000 in the cash just for operating, so, but I could if that is something that you guys would like to see.
Any thoughts on that one? Mike? No? Larry, too?
No.
Okay. Moving on. Profit and loss, cash flow.
Nothing new to note on here. Everything is consistent month to month.
You're doing a really good job, Brittany.
Got us all counted, so we don't have any questions.
You got us on automatic, it sounds like. Okay, let's move on. Jody, City Manager's Report, Texas Parks and Wildlife Grant.
Okay.
Give the Port Commission snapshot on purpose.
Really, no, we didn't. It's on purpose. Is there any comments on the snapshot?
Take a second look.
I thought that's what we covered. Maybe we should.
Oh, you did say that, gas power laws, and I was behind you. Sorry.
Okay, well, that's all right.
Okay.
You okay with it, Mike? Okay, all right, moving on.
Okay.
Cody.
Update on a few things, Texas Park and Wildlife Grant, which is a renovation to the Lonnie Marina breakwater. The contract documents have been executed and Matt is working on scheduling a pre-construction conference for next week, after Easter. If there's any Port Commission members that would like to attend the pre-construction conference, please let me know. I'll include you on the invitation once the date's set. Matt, have we set a date for that yet?
No, Jody, we haven't. Kind of waiting on them to get some materials closer here on site. We issued the notice to proceed so that we could get them, so that they could start ordering their materials. But when those piling get close, we're thinking we'll have that meeting. I'm thinking they're showing up towards the middle to end of May.
Okay, middle to end of May, okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, you guys let me know and I'll make sure to include you in the invitation if you'd like to be there. The CDBG MIT Coastal Resiliency Living Shoreline Project. I'm working on collecting the front end documents, legal documents to provide to Mont McDonald to use in their bid documents. We haven't had any word on the status of the permit application. It's thought that the National Marine Fisheries is the holdup. This is the same agency that took so long with the Nautical Marines breakwater application. And National Marine Fisheries is highly understaffed right now. We did have a meeting with GLO Friday, I think it was, because our contract with GLO expires at the end of this month. And so we've been working on a contract amendment, to extend the contract. So the question has been, what are we asking for, as far as an extension? And the original application that we submitted probably a couple months ago, we submitted to go to June of 2027. And so we had a meeting with GLO on Friday, and basically they said, we can't go to June 2027, that's too far. They might be able to stretch it to like March of 2027. Bottom line, the proposed schedule that was included in the reasoning, I guess, for the extension request was based upon the assumption we get a core permit in December. Because we can't do anything until we get the core permit. That's holding everything up. And then once we get the core permit, then how long we project the construction is going to take and close out and everything. So basically what we ended up with at the end of the conversation on Friday was a couple things. Mont McDonald's going to go back with KSVR and going to work on that schedule and try to shave off as many months as they can from what happens after we get the core permit. And then with the objective of hopefully getting it to where we can justify, maybe say March of 2027. But then the GLO is going to put together a letter for us, basically stating that, appealing to something that we can send to the Corps and to our state and federal representatives, whoever, letting them know that, we really need the Corps to act as sooner than later. Because we could lose this funding if we don't get it done by a certain amount of time.
We send a letter to Michael Cloud.
Oh, yeah, Michael Cloud, John Corrin, we're gonna send it, I'm just waiting to get it.
Okay,
And then and the Corps itself, trying to put, some fire under the fort. From what we're hearing, it's not necessarily the Corps itself. I think it's National Marine Fisheries, just like it was before, but reach out to everybody we can reach out to with the hope of getting it before December. If we got it in August, no problem, even September. Yeah, December is where, if we don't get till December and it takes a year and a half to construct and the bidding and close out, you know, we're gonna be up against that deadline, uncomfortably close. And so we're making every effort we can to speed things up. I did, when I talked to Thomas with Mount McDonald last week, he did tell me that, yes, right now, because of cutting employee cuts or whatever, National Marine Fisheries is very understaffed. But he said what they have been doing in some instances is because of that, they're just passing through. They don't have the staff to review them, so they're just letting them go.
Yep.
They're hoping maybe that's what they'll do in this case.
So here's the thought, I know that the city is talking to our elected reps. Can you draft a letter that would be appropriate for us if we wanted to
Sure.
do it? I will do it,
Yeah, for sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll.
I should get that information from GLO this week, because we thought we need something from them saying, we're not just making this up. GLO's telling us that if we don't do this at a certain amount of time, we're gonna lose funding.
Yeah, which we don't want to do. So let's pull out all the steps that we can.
There's definitely a hiring freeze at the Corps. But I talked to some folks there and they're not replacing
Yeah,
anybody. And they don't know who's gonna take over the work. So, you know, if there are 15 projects and you're supposed to do 5 of them and 2 of you leave, then there's still 15 projects.
and
So,
I mean,
they haven't figured all that out yet. They're trying to do.
of course, had the permit application for not quite a year. It'll be here a year and a couple of weeks. And remember, it went through public comment without any issues at all. So there really shouldn't be that, you know, that big a deal, but it's still
On the
taking.
best days, the Corps is slower than, now we got this to face.
So, okay, so that's what's going on there. On the Restore project, we've got a meeting scheduled, actually it might be this week now. This week, with, TCQ and, Tim Griffith, who is our consultant, to go through some, comments that the court had on our permit application and our deed information. To help us answer some of the questions that they had on the deed. I'm having Gulf Coast Title prepare a title opinion, because I think that's the only, you know, it's not a normal deed, you know, we purchased the channel and dock and the channel and dock, the field note description was back in the several decades ago, and anyway, to help answer their questions, I think we just need a title opinion and I'll take care of it. And so that's underway. By the time we get that all done, we should be through our environmental time with the permit. And so hopefully we will be able to bid this thing out in the next couple of months. The CDBG MIT round 2 application that we were talking about, you know, as we called the 9.1 million, was finally approved by GLO several weeks ago. And like I said, KSBR did make a formal inquiry last week because we hadn't heard anything on the contract. And that's when we were told to look for it in the next 10 to 15 days. In the mayor's email. So hopefully that will come through. The GLO Kepler grant, which is the Harbor Refuge Shoreline Protection Project. Mount McDonald continues to work on the 30% design drawings and the core permit application. At last month's meeting, the board expressed interest in funding a project to install riprap along the eastern shoreline of the peninsula, the Harbor Refuge, which is track 11. I did speak with Josh Carter with Coast and Harbors Engineering about placing riprap along the shoreline in the short term, knowing that the shoreline restoration project is a few years down the road. He suggested that the first step be to determine the Corps of Engineers jurisdictional boundary. Much of the work to do to determine this has already been done by Triton Environmental for the Kepler grant project. Josh Carter said that with the jurisdictional determination, they could develop a design with modest effort as they've already have a survey of the site and good understanding of the coastal conditions. He said that the deliverables would be plans with detailed notes and simple specifications. So I'm working towards getting a jurisdictional determination for as little cost as possible. And then with that, work with Coast and Harbors on a proposal for an effective design with estimated construction costs.
Is that jurisdictional determination up to the Corps or the General Land Office?
It is submitted to the Corps. But from what I understand, from what he was explaining to me,
That's weird.
they would, and they've actually already done the field work for it. It's a matter, and I haven't gone through this a lot, but there's another step they need to do to put this on like a little report. And what he explained to me was that, and actually this came from CRG Environmental, that you got everything together and basically your consultants determine that the work you're doing is outside of their boundary. He said, let the Corps know this is what you're doing, but you don't necessarily have to wait for them. You know that you're outside of it.
Right.
You go to work and you're just letting them know
Okay.
about it. And so that's kind of the plan, as I understand it.
Okay, great. We need to try to push that boundary out as far as we can because we've lost 11 acres there.
But right now, the boundary's gonna be, I believe, it's but mean high tide or whatever, that's gonna be the jurisdictional boundary now.
Okay, well, I don't know, you might check on this, but they let me go out further than that.
I don't know that.
But at least it's from the GLO. That's why I was asking for like $25 for the next 50 years. But it let me go out further.
You'd have to, lease the land,
Let's-
so that's a separate. I mean, I don't know if that is an objective, that is a different track than what we're on right now.
Okay, well, my only thought is let's try to recover as much acreage as we can.
Well, what we're talking about right here would be stopping the erosion right now. If we're
That's
looking
good.
at trying
Right. Yeah, that's urgent.
to do something else, that is, as I understand, that's a separate track.
Okay, all right. Well, it's better to at least get it stopped.
Yeah,
It is.
anyway, but I'm working towards that and I won't spend a whole lot of money without bringing it back to y'all, but, like I said, first thing is to figure out what extra we still need to do to get this jurisdictional determination, which it sounds like they've already got most of it done. Honestly, he was gonna, get that together and then, I'll get pricing from Triton and, CRG and let one of them do the finish up work. It's just, Triton's worked with Coast and Harbors, but we've been working with CRG, but they're both equivalent firms for the most part. The Matagorda Bay Mitigation Trust Grant Downtown Waterfront Public Access Improvement Project. We did receive the Corps of Engineer letter of permission on March 28th. We are meeting with GLO, last week we met with GLO Clean Coast Texas team about how they can help with technical and financial resources for the green infrastructure component of the project. Matt was on that call on Friday. We got a lot of good information from them. They're basically, I can't remember the guy's name right now, but there's an engineer that works with Clean Coast Texas, and he's at our disposal to help us with this project. No additional cost. It's part of the agreement we have with Clean Coast Texas. To help us on the technical aspect, to do the drainage and using green infrastructure on this parking project. Anyway, it was a really good meeting and Matt and I are gonna probably get together later, probably this week, hopefully. Try to put our heads together and come up with some more concrete plans that we can get back to them and work towards finalizing a design for this and get this project bid. And Matt has submitted an invoice to reflect the completion of the permitting phase. And as soon as I get the canceled check back, I'll send it back to Matagorda Bay Mitigation Trust for reimbursement, along with a written project status report to date. TxDOT truck route signs, they have not scheduled a pre-construction conference yet, but I did hear back from TxDOT last week that they finally received the contract that they were waiting on, that was being held up by the Union Pacific Railroad. So he told me that they should be scheduling it pretty soon. I reached out to him trying to see whether we could schedule a pre-construction conference only for this part, the sign part, and not the whole project.
Yeah.
And he had originally told me, yeah, let me look into that. And that's when he emailed me back and he said, hey, we finally got the contract. So we're trying to move forward. If I don't hear from him, here in a couple of days before the end of the week, I'll reach back out again and see where we're at.
Okay.
The parking area on the SBA Steel property at the Harbor Refuge. I've been in contact with Mr. Richard Keene of SBA Steel. They own the land where that parking area is near the Harbor Refuge program. They were not able to locate any documents on their end to show any sort of agreement have been executed in the past regarding this parking area. They are not interested in selling, but will entertain a long-term lease and asked me to send them a proposal. So I looked at it. The area in question is approximately 22,000 square feet, half acre. According to CAD, the property is valued at 21 cents per square foot. So the parking area would be 4,686 based upon the 10% rate of return rule of thumb. This would result in an annual rental rate of $469. I haven't said anything. I don't know, since this is for the public benefit, I might, suggest, that they consider something significantly less than that. I don't know, I'm open to what your guys' thoughts on that was.
They're saying the fee would be $469 a year.
Right, based upon that calculation.
And we're talking about basically just clearing up this question about parking on that property.
Well, making a legit long-term lease, pull that out of the questionable area,
The reality is we're using it every day now.
For free.
for parking, and we're even going.
No, but they don't care.
Nobody's ever mentioned a word about it.
But there's a fence that the city put up that's been there forever.
How far back does this property that they own go? And
Yeah.
Is that whole corner there belong to them?
They own the whole tract.
If you look
They
at,
own.
It goes all the way around 1090?
No, it's the track where there's a communication tower. They own that track.
you know where that creek comes through?
Yeah, yeah,
Comes
I
from
know.
that creek, from where that
I didn't know how
creek
far back it went.
It goes all the way back to that creek and then it kind of runs back.
west it's to the,
The mowed portion of that property, does this include that piece?
here, I'll show you. It's,
There's the long fence, the post fence that Jimbo's talking about, that kind of identifies the boundary for the parking area.
See, something had to have been done, but I mean, I know Jody's
That's what we-
time and time looking.
we haven't found anything and they haven't found anything.
Emery's worked on it. I think Melissa's worked on it some, Melissa Stern, and it's never shown.
I guess it's just for the communications tower. I don't know either. They don't use it.
I thought, my thought on this, Dr. Reamer used to own all that property.
Holy cow, that's a lot of property.
Yeah, they own that whole
To the
tract.
city, because the city would.
We're just encroaching in on it,
No.
Okay.
It's
And then $470 a year is the part we're using.
got
Yeah.
complete.
like a half
That's kind of
acre.
my thought.
What we're talking about.
Certainly the city needs it, because if you go in there and look, you look at that line of telephone poles, well, that is the original property line, which wouldn't even give you enough room to get, turn in and back your boat in. You'd actually have to turn around and then, back your boat in. Fine.
Wait a minute, you said the line of those posts?
Those telephone
Yeah,
poles.
that's the
the
Telephone
original-
posts.
Yeah, that's.
Okay.
Right in the middle of the lot.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of the parking
No,
area.
exactly.
Okay.
And then it goes back
Yeah.
half an acre.
And if you remember, I did reach out to Gary Bros about a year or so ago when this all came up and asked him what he recalled about it. And he told me that, because it was already there by the time he became city manager in the 2000s. And he did have a call one day from somebody that was associated with the property asking about this parking area. He said right after he first got here. And of course, he didn't know anything about the history either, and he basically told him, well, if you don't want us using it, we'll just stop using it. And whoever he was talking to said, oh, that's okay, it's no big deal, fine, but nothing was ever officially settled and put in writing.
Okay, here's something just popped into my head. If we let this continue to linger on, if somebody were to come through and want to cause the city a pain in the butt, they could buy that property.
Yes.
And that screws up the whole boat ramp and the use of that boat ramp, really, because you
Yeah.
can't.
Well, I'm curious, is it under our agreement with Texas Parks and Wildlife, when we built the boat ramp, what agreement we have with them in terms of parking? I'm sure there's something in that
I
agreement.
mean, you're right, Mike, that's what I'm thinking, whether that was something, but look at the aerial, it shows up like right around 2000-ish. So what, and I think, I don't know, when did the city take over that from Parks and Wildlife? Because it's been,
I don't know.
There's a big motor hole down there.
I wanna say, it was in the,
I don't remember those days. I wasn't paying a lot of attention at that time.
But that's
I think we ought to offer them $250 a year for 10 years.
Or 20 or 30 or 50.
Yeah, try to,
have it, recurring until,
yeah.
I was just telling them,
Yeah.
if we want a 50-year lease, that locks it down for us, and then we'll be home by then.
Can you do that? Let's do it before something happens.
yeah, that's why I just want to wait.
Certainly don't want anybody to come blocking out a lot.
That in form of a motion.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I missed
Can we
it.
act on it?
yeah, just recommend that I make a
Long-term lease, yeah.
Okay. All right,
perpetual lease.
And he might even give it to you, $10 a year or something like that.
ready to make a motion?
Yeah, I would move that we recommend to Jody Weaver that she offer this company a lease, long-term lease at a fee not to exceed $250 a year.
All right, do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second by Larry making the motion and Sue seconding the motion to pursue a long-term lease, maximum 250 a year. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. None opposed, motion passes. Okay, great. Thank you.
They've looked at it long enough. I can do something different now. Y'all been busy on this lease thing, yeah.
Yep, Roger on that. Okay, now where are we?
Jimbo, I think,
Jimbo, yep, you're up.
Okay, so City of Harbor, we council ratified a lease of a couple of spots down there in the parking area on the 27th of March. And those guys, they paid and they're there. The Nautical Landings Building.
Ask some
Construction, they're working.
details on that.
Sorry?
I guess details, ask questions.
Sure, sure.
That's the one that's 4 months, right?
3 months.
3.
Months, but there is an option for a 4th month, but I doubt they'll.
So, our normal procedure, would be to just go on a day by day.
Well, that's why we took it to council to see it, because the ordinance does allow them to do that, and to approve a monthly rate if they want to. As it was earlier.
They're allowed to modify the ordinance.
The
All right.
ordinance, what the ordinance says is that those daily rates or the monthly rates are effective only for annual leases unless otherwise approved by council. And because of, the importance of this project and, trying to work with everybody, we could help out by offering this for the few months they needed it. In fact, I mean, they were willing to pay for a whole year. But I thought it was kind of foolish to tie it up for a whole year when they were only gonna in reality be here for a couple months. I didn't think that was wise.
Where's this property? Oh, lost.
Well, I mean, it's a two, boat slips, boat slips down there by Scully's that we got.
Yeah.
And then, well, we have three, but they're taking two.
Yeah, okay,
And then parking on the old freezer.
gotcha, okay.
No, but I mean, we had the discussion in a previous meeting, which said we were gonna go either day by day or annual lease.
Correct.
And that's still our policy.
And in
that
the
we have voted
ordinance-
on.
In the ordinance, it does allow the city council to.
Well, then I'm curious about. Well, I feel like we've just been bypassed, so okay,
Well,
never
with-
mind.
With the timing, unless I call a special meeting and, I mean, all this was happening right after we had a special meeting, I think. I would have had to call a meeting within a couple days. Just to happen.
Well, again,
It's having a meeting with council and council has the authority to override it or.
yeah, but they would never do that without your personal recommendation.
I mean, what I told them was the facts. As I saw that and they.
Okay, so what we got is the council has determined that a 3-month lease, is that what it is? Is it?
It'll all be over in short
I
period.
mean, the alternative was to have a year's lease. And so if we have somebody that wants to come in December and
Mhm.
lease that for a year, wouldn't be able to, even though it was empty.
Yep.
Because we had it tied up for a whole year. I just,
Roger that.
I think that was wise.
Anybody have an issue with that?
Or the alternative was to just charge them a daily rate going down the road.
But they would not, they would have gone to flashes instead and spent all their
Yep.
daily stipend dollars in flashes, which
There
I like
was-
flashes and all, but I like my per diem
Well,
government here.
one of the other things that kind of plays into this that hadn't been brought up is RVs. They
Oh,
rented
yeah.
several RV spots.
Well, they ended up running one of our RV spots in Lighthouse Beach.
And this is,
That's right, now I remember.
and this was a project, I don't know if y'all remember, but this is the project where the gas pipeline got hit. Whatever, I don't know, but right in the center of the shit town. So.
No, and the thing I'm concerned about is we set these procedures and, we vote on one here and then they get changed.
But
And then you recommend to council and then they change. If I'm sitting on council, I would. From a business perspective, it doesn't make a lot of sense. That's the only thing.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but I want you to understand that I am following what was adopted legally by our elected representative city council. They adopted and approved.
Well, I understand that you can make it. Well, I'm not questioning that. I was questioning why.
The reason was because we wanted and council agreed that we like the idea of all these crew guys spending their per diem dollars in Port Lavaca, buying fuel in Port Lavaca, spending money at our Lighthouse Beach.
Yeah.
Eating at our restaurants, as opposed to going to Flashes and spending their money there. Plus, that was gonna even make it more hard for them to complete this critical construction project that.
Okay, point made, point made, I'm calling timeout. Yeah, the point's made,
Got it.
is the Port Commission,
Let me give one more piece of data. The last time this happened, we charged $12,000 for the same time. We got the money from, it was in another way, they were subleasing from our lady friend down here. And she charged, $20,000 for 4 months to put their barges in there. We went in and she paid us $12,000. You go back to look at the records.
These are the two boat slips down by Scully's, that track.
It was, but anyway, It's obvious that we know we weren't considered.
But again, if
Okay.
it was gonna be that much, they would have gone to flashes.
Yeah. Right. Well, it sounds to me like that we beat this horse to death. The point is made that the council made a decision, an executive decision, and we might have had different thoughts, but it's done.
Right.
Okay, moving. Okay, Jimbo.
So Nautical Landing's building, okay, Bearfoot Construction, they're still working on the window covers. I'm not done a lot with this, but I need to, but trying to get that scope of work together. I need to work with Derek Smith on this, so we can put that out for bids. You know, for the 6 big windows on the south end of the building, on the Commerce Street side. Get those replaced. The Nautical Landings Marina, Horizon Environmental's been there 15 times since the last PC meeting. Then April 25th, and this hasn't happened yet. I was promised it was gonna happen. I checked this morning, it hadn't happened. We're still having problems with the water. No, I'm not gonna say usage. But metering problems, I guess you would say.
Are you looking at the daily flow on that through the software that's available?
And it'll run pretty consistent.
Yeah, then all of a sudden get a bump.
Then it'll jump up, and I don't know if we had talked about this at the last meeting.
Yeah, we did.
About the 15,000.
Yes.
I mean, for like 4 hours.
So we've not identified why that's happening.
In the 5th hour, it was 10,000. So, I mean, you know, we went down there, Derek and I went down, anyway, that's something that's almost impossible to happen. So we decided.
We could shut the meter off.
Well, we did that. We shut everything down, went in the park, made sure there wasn't anything tied in. We could not find anything. So we decided we were gonna put a mechanical meter. I talked to Derek about it. Derek talked to George Street guys. We got the meter, the fittings, but I was gonna have to have Portavaca Plumbing installed. They were supposed to do it Friday. I checked it this morning. They hadn't done it, but he assured me that they would have it done by then today. And I'm gonna have to read the meter. I don't know if I'm gonna have to read, I don't know who's gonna read the meter, but we'll get that figured out.
Yeah,
I
okay.
mean, I can go down there on a daily basis and just look at it and say, hey, you know, do some math and see if something crazy is going on. or-
Good deal. Just keep it monitored and let us know what happens next.
So Smith Harbor, I don't think anything's got done with this, the 6 power poles along the bulkhead. And of course, we did get the core permit with all that project there, parking lot in that Smith Harbor on the 28th of March. Harbor Refuge, we're still bringing dirt in. Of course, weed control, it's kind of on the back burner until we get a little further down the road. One of the things I did not put on here, and I thought about it this morning, is I talked to Paul Magala with Gulf Mart and asked him to send me those, if I could start receiving those reports, the full report on the barge loadings. He thought I was getting them. I wasn't. We are getting them now. I'm getting ones from Bay City as well, because they go to Bay City, then they come down here and load. We haven't loaded here yet, so I haven't got a report, but I did get one from Bay City, so I would imagine here in a few days I'll get a report from them on this lifting here, so.
Are you comfortable with monitoring the Harbor Refuge vessels and tariffs and so forth?
Yeah, matter of fact, yesterday, I was down there yesterday and there was a derrick barge on the dock and I had a lawyer write it down on the calendar. It was an Encore barge. So I haven't been there this morning, obviously, but I will be down there this afternoon and we'll track and see. But they really haven't been using it much, just because they spent so much money, in the previous months. They've been trying to do everything off of their property.
Is the parking issue right in front of the dredge? Is that,
I didn't see cars
Not
the
an issue.
other day when I was there. No.
okay, okay.
But, yeah. Oh, the other thing we need to talk about, and Jody and I talked, and that's not on here either, was the sign. You know, remember we talked about this, having sign, okay, we came up with a design.
Yeah.
We just need to figure out what we wanna do as far as, how we wanna handle that. Remember, we had talked about using a, answering service or something along those
You know,
lines?
we're trying to figure out what would the captains be more, what would be more common? To email or to call a number? When they enter the harbor. And that's kind of where we're stuck. I mean, if it's a call, it's gonna be a little, we gotta make some determinations on how best to do that. If it's
Here's-
email, it's simple.
Here's what I would do. Talk to the Gulf Smart guys
Have you asked them?
and see what they're telling folks want to do, what works best for them.
I think yeah, and we can do that, that's not a problem. I think the answering service deal would be good, but I think that service, and it's been a while since I've looked at it. But I wanna think that service was kind of pricey.
It was,
You
yeah.
know, and but I just can't remember what those numbers were,
But what,
you know?
if we gotta have a live person on the phone, can't the police dispatch or somebody like that pick up the?
We don't.
answer?
See, that's-
Dispatching.
Yeah.
You have 24, anybody sitting on representing the city.
Yeah, 911.
911, yeah.
Could they call over there? I mean, you think we could maybe?
I don't know. That's a question whether they would be.
Pose that question, I don't know, I mean, they do monitor, non-emergency calls like, for water leaks or pick up dogs and that kind of stuff. I can ask.
That might be. the way.
911, or how about the sheriff's office?
Well, you know, we got to do
Consolidated.
consolidated.
Yeah, it's all
yeah,
consolidated.
yeah. And I don't know, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I know they're up and running, and I guess they've got the both worked out.
But, again, if it was email, I mean, you get all the information real easy, and that would be simple to do, it's just, I don't know if that would.
Talk to the people that are running those tubboats,
Right, if they.
and they'll know.
The other thing you could use an A311 number, which is kind of typical for non-emergency. 911's kind of an emergency.
Would you say?
Yeah, 311.
3-1.
If you go to Houston, you call 311. You bring out people to dig, show you where to dig and things like that. So that might be a possibility. If that's been consolidated in to our local deal,
I didn't even think about that, but if they could do that, that would be.
just might ask them, go over and talk to them, see what they're capable of.
Well, I'll tell you, this other deal with this thing with them sending their report, their complete report in, that's gonna help a lot. Because I mean, it'll show if they gotta leave and go pick up, barge up at Point Comfort, if they bring, whatever the case may be, it'll show all that in that report. So,
Pretty important.
and of course, we haven't had any, and this is what I was talking to him as well. I mean, there's not really anything in place to, I mean, we're just receiving a check from them. I mean, there's no way to, any checks and balances on it. So. Now with Helena, we get all the barge reports. I mean, there's checks and balances there, but there's none with the crude oil at all, so.
But why not?
I think we were just trying to get, when you come into the port, we just like to know.
When are you coming in and what do you got in front of you? When
Right,
you go out, what do you got in front of you?
right. So, yeah, the report deal will help 100%. There's no doubt about that. But Jody and I were just talking about the signage, I don't know, a week or so ago. And I don't know why I didn't think about putting it on here, but I was kind of in a rush that day, but we were trying to get all this together, but.
Yeah, and I know, and Brittany was trying to find information from the telephone company of any resources they have or something like that and the cost. And the lady she reached out to never answered it back. Called her back, and I talked to her this morning, she said she was gonna call her again. See, if that was more better price than, because I know what you came up with was pretty expensive.
So much,
Well, here's a real off the wall idea. Greg Flam runs the taxi service. And I think he's gotta have somebody 24/7. I don't know, ask him.
Well, and one of the things, I didn't even think about this, and this might work too. Is if we talk to Charles. maybe we put the one comfort number, because they have somebody in that tower.
That's a good idea.
I didn't, yeah.
They're not functioning very well over there.
Oh, they weren't.
Well, this thing that's, starting and stopping the planning for
Oh,
the large canal, a lot of confusion. But that thing's now, the question is it gonna get built? So,
really?
well, I mean, all the stuff with Trump going on, I mean, he's frozen a lot of those projects, so.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, well, that's,
I
all
wouldn't depend on them to do something.
right, I'm gonna put this on our to-do list, we'll just,
That deal over at that would be the best thing.
It's not, yes, if that works, that's what should. And again, I would focus on the 311 because that 911 is an emergency.
Well, I mean, I don't know, I'm looking at the one, I mean, right now, I mean, there is a non-emergency number that is called, and I can't remember right off. Yeah, but it is 552, it might be 553.
I don't know whether we have to implement that or what, but anyway,
I'll
it's so much, people know about that 311 number.
okay. Any more discussion on Jimbo's stuff?
Thanks, Jimbo.
Yep, thank you. All right. The next one is the tariff issue, is that right? Tariff circular number one.
But last month, I think, if I recall, the discussion was, for each of the commissioners to kind of take a look at it and, get any comments back to me. I haven't heard anything, so I don't, if everybody has in fact had a chance to look at it closely, or we still need more time to do that.
Yeah, I have looked at it and my only suggestion, we put our parking rules into here as well, since that's kind of
Okay.
tied in. Which says you can't park anywhere except on your leased property. And that way we shouldn't have to do it. Again, just trying to tighten things up a little bit.
Okay. So put something in there about parking.
Yeah, parking only on their leased property.
Yep. All right, is that it for that item 6? That's it.
Yeah.
I'll get the comments to you.
So you're ready to go, is that right, Jody? Except for
I mean,
the,
again, my intention was, once we were all okay with this, that, Raymond and I would meet with that marine attorney and just, for a bit of time and just kind of go through it and make sure from a legal standpoint that it's all on the ground, and then we pick up council for approval.
Okay. I'm good with that. I just thought about something else here. It's moving of that dredge. We've talked about that, and I don't know that I was gonna get a comment from Brownwater Marine from one of their boats was gonna take a look at it, see if they could move it across the harbor with their boat. Which I don't think that's an issue there, but
But we still need to have some place.
we need to think more about putting some moorings in
yeah, but
there.
that's only a $10,000 or $15,000 deal, right? Put mooring.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that's a relative number, so it's not a big deal, just have to get it done, so. I would, it makes sense to move it off that dock if we
I mean, I
can.
don't know, their construction's gonna be working here.
there you go. Perfect.
And so.
That's right. Yeah.
Let me call him and just
Do that.
ask him, we might be able to see reality, how much money we're talking about, we could put a little bid package together or something, or.
Have him look at what we want to do, and that's a good idea.
And we haven't talked to Gasper in a while, so probably need to put a call into him and see, maybe, that whole deal might change.
I'll ask him. I'll call Gasper.
Just to see how many months, I mean, I know. that
Anything on the horizon? Okay. All right. I think that takes us to what? Closed session. Do we need to go into closed session?
I mean, there really isn't much to report, other than I could tell you where we're at with our leases, but, I can tell you we're just there's been no action.
Okay. Does the board want to go into closed session for anything?
No.
Okay, so we're not going to go into closed session. No items to discuss. Let's see. Where do we talk about the to-do list, or do we?
The what? Oh, I think it was up by Jim Bowes
Okay.
in Jim's thing.
All right. I'm gonna just ask y'all, do you have any comments on the to-do list that we need to talk about right now? I will tell you, I'll go back through them, and I've got several items that I'll add to them from this morning. I'll get them back out when I get home. Looks like several of them have been addressed already.
Yeah, it's a long list of completeds. That's a good thing.
The reason for this whole thing was just to keep us from dropping things that can fall through the crack. I'll take a shot at cleaning it up. Y'all help me. Got something. Okay, y'all see anything now, or just let me know if you do. All right. Well, that takes us to comments from commissioners. Mr. Larry?
Easter week. Easter week, that's it.
Are you teaching the Easter lesson this Sunday?
Yeah, my group that graduates from my class to heaven, that's what we're gonna talk about.
You got the final one. That's
That's it.
It's a good one.
Huh? It is. I learned a lot.
Oh, people?
Yeah. In other words, there's adult 4. There is no adult 5. I teach adult 4, and that's a fascinating group.
Church.
Baptist,
Okay.
First Baptist. So that's fascinating. I mean, tell you, we just ran.
Point Comfort, but
See?
it's a Methodist church, but we just call it group therapy.
There you go.
You teach it too.
I have been for about 5 years now.
Oh, wow. Hey. Every time I go by there, I think about Sunday school classes
Oh,
at
you were
church.
nice as Sunday school teacher.
And then Nikki was after
There
that.
you go.
All right, anything, Sue?
No.
Anything else?
You want my story?
I don't have anything, so.
You want
go-
my story?
Yeah, you're on. Go ahead. What did you do this time?
I went to the Baptist church on Tuesday. I got sick. Tuesday night, I was in the restroom about 8:30 or 9 and fell. Now I can't get up. I didn't have my phone. My Alexa would not call out unless I had my phone. So I couldn't call 911. Marilyn was asleep and didn't hear me. 4.5 hours it took me to get her up.
Oh, my gosh.
They came out, just lifted me up and everything's fine. I didn't hurt anything.
Why don't you,
And all of a sudden yesterday, this started swelling, so I don't know what's going on.
why don't you get one of those things that wear around your neck?
I need to do something. Well, I had my watch, which I just forgot about. It was on, so, but the bottom line is that every day is older. Every day is one more thing. My kids are calling their mom and saying, Dad's not doing well. So anyway, just be careful. Boy,
Well,
you,
It'd be tough to get out.
you're getting that, and you get in that age bracket, you just go down and,
Yeah.
and I could not get up. I was wedged in front of the toilet, so.
John Wesley said our next step is the porch of heaven. That's what he said. We're going to the,
I would believe that.
that's a good spot.
Yeah.
It's very discouraging though to realize that all of a sudden you're not able to do
I
things.
should say we're sitting on the tailgate.
Porch sounds more
Yeah.
relaxing than tailgate. Depends on who the driver is.
But now, anything else. Well,
All right, thanks for that, Mike.
So sorry you hurt your hand.
I'm going to the hospital right now and go get x-ray and see if they see anything going on.
Good.
Oh, man.
That's your mic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Sue and a second from Mike that we adjourn this meeting. All in favor? Aye. Nobody's opposed.
And I
We,
would add you conducted a very good meeting.
thank you very
We
much.
got out 11:03.
11, that's it.